Well, students, here we are today, starting with the next absolutely fresh part of the biological sciences. Because from today onwards, in next some successive classes, we are going to talk about only one thing, and that is human physiology. Because as you are aware, according to cellular organization, if we look at, we have cell make tissue, tissue make organ, and organ make organ system, and from organ system we get organism like ourselves. That means, in simple, it means that our body as an organism is made up of or is composed of number of systems that work coordinately to allow us to have a successful survival. And among these list of different organ systems, as we say, the digestive system comes first, because when we talk of digestive system, we are talking about the food. That what happens to the food once it enters into the mouth. That means a plate comes with some chapati, etc. We bite it, we just break it, bite it. And after that, what goes inside our body with that bite of bread, or with that curry that you had eaten, or chapati piece that you had eaten, you don't know. So now is the time to know what actually happens to that. And that is what we are going to study in this topic, dentition and human digestive system. If we look at the word dentition, though dentition is not different from digestive system, but is still can be considered as a part of digestive system, because it basically concerns with teeth. That means, how do the teeth develop, how are they arranged, and how are they distributed in the mouth. When we say buccal cavity, we are talking about the mouth. That blocks here. It starts from here and it ends here. Now, once we take a bite, the teeth and tongue are the two things which play a major role. And what role they play, in order to understand that, we need to know what actually are they. And how are they arranged, and if they are arranged in an order of X, Z, Y, then why X, Z, Y? Why not X, Y, Z? Is there any reason, or it is by chance? It's not by chance. It is for reason. And those are the reasons that we have to look into when we talk about the dentition. That is the study of the teeth in the buccal cavity or in the mouth. Let's proceeding further. If we look at dentition, based on the type of the teeth, the organisms have been grouped. And the first group consists of three: monophyodont, diphyodont, and polyphyodont. Mono means single. That means here is an organism. As a young organism, as a young offspring, the teeth comes out. And the teeth that comes out, they last until the end of the life. That means if a teeth is broken down, it has fallen down, that it has fallen down. It's not going to come back again. But in case of diphyodont as compared to monophyodonts, the teeth appear twice. Once at the childhood stage and later as an adult. Just like in humans. If you know, in the human infant, maybe up to an age of 8 or 9 years or even up to 10 years, you will find the type of teeth we have is what we call as deciduous teeth or what we call as milk teeth. And it's later, these milk teeth are being followed or are being replaced by permanent teeth. And they not only differ in their structure, but they also differ in their number present in the mouth. And then polyphodonts are the organism in which the teeth keep on replacing over and over again. Particularly it is found in those organisms who make a lot of use of teeth. Particularly sharks, etc. If you look at these animals, they hunt a lot. And as they hunt a lot, they keep on wearing off or tearing off their teeth every now and then. And because of this reason, if you say their teeth, they have to have their teeth replaced. And for your information to add to, do you know all these big animals like elephants, like whales, how do they die? What's the basic cause of the death? You'll be surprised to know that most of these animals like elephants, naturally they die of starvation. That is, their teeth have worn out. Now they can't bite, they can't chew the food, and hence they have to suffer from starvation. And that starvation leads to their death. In more than 80% cases of deaths, natural death of elephants, the cause is starvation. The only thing is that an elephant is not polyphodont, so he can't replace the teeth. That's where the problem is. Even in humans, now we have developed the techniques to develop the teeth that the old people replace their natural teeth with. But otherwise, you would see that as the person grows old, the teeth starts wearing off and then they have to be replaced by the new artificial teeth because of the scientific developments which are available in the market with a dentist or with an ENT doctor. And then the other way of classifying the organism is on the basis of the dentition or on the basis of the type of the teeth they have is whether they are homodont or heterodont. Homo means same, hetero means different. That means here is an animal in which all the teeth are same. Whereas here is another animal in which teeth are there, but the shape, their number, it varies. If you look and stand in front of the mirror and watch your teeth, open your mouth and watch the teeth closely, you will see that they are white, shiny teeth, but they are of different shapes. Some are flat, some are edged, or some are like a Caesar, etc. So, if an organism has got a different type of teeth in the buccal cavity, is heterodont. But in case if all the teeth are same, like in case of frog, in case of reptiles, most of the reptiles and fishes, you will see that all the teeth that are present in the buccal cavity are same. And in some cases you will find that all the teeth are present only on the upper jaw. They are not there in the lower jaw. So, these sort of the animals, that's where the classification comes in, homodont and heterodont. Homo same, hetero different, right? So, let's based on this information that we had, look into the questions that have come in the previous years and see how they correlate and how good are we in answering them. Let's look at the question number 1. In a human adult, the dental formula means number of teeth, like a chemical formula. If we write CaCO3 or CO2, what it means, 1C2O. Same way, we have the dental formula, right? which starts with incisor, canine, premolar and molar. The order is incisor, canine, premolar and then molar. Now, if it is written like 2, 1, 2, 3 in the first case, I see that what it means is that 2, 1, 2, 3. The one written on the top or on the upper jaw and the one below in the denominator side are for the lower jaw. Now, here it gives 4 options, in which case the number of the teeth and the type of the teeth are different. That means the number of the different type of teeth are different. Like in the first case, if we see in the A and B, incisors are 2, 2, but in C and D, it is 1, 1. So if we look at this, in humans, adults, the order is 2. That is, if we take this jaw, upper jaw, lower jaw, and now we divide this jaw into 2, because the total number of teeth is 32. So 16 come in the lower jaw and 16 come on the upper jaw. And if we divide this jaw further into 2 equal halves, then it becomes 8, 8, 8, 8. So that's how the order comes in, of set of 8. Now, first thing we should look into is the sum total of all the numerator and denominator 8. Yes, in each case it is 8. Then we look into the second part. Is the order of the arrangement same? That is incisor, canine, premolar and molar. That's there. In case of humans, the order is there are 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. That's the order. That is, the order is 2, 1, 2, 3, as luckily I have written same on the top. So the correct option comes out to be the A. That in humans, there are 2 incisors, 1 canine, 2 premolars and 3 molars. That means total, if I look at the upper jaw or the lower jaw, there are 4 incisors, 2 canines, 4 premolars and 6 molars. So that's the option A, which is correct. Next. In humans, the wisdom tooth is, you know what you call as akkal dad in the basic language. It appears at an age of about 17 to 20 years or even a year or 2 later. And then it says in human the wisdom tooth is. Which type of the tooth comes out at that age to be called as a wisdom tooth? Is it second molar, third molar, second premolar or second incisor? It's for your knowledge and information that it is the third molar that comes out as the wisdom tooth. That means up to an age of 15 or 16 years, the total number of tooth or teeth is 30. If someone undergoes the development of the wisdom tooth, then the number increases or reaches to 32. And in some cases, it has been found that it doesn't develop at all. In these cases, it remains only 30. So a human adult may have a 30 teeth or may have a 32. If he or she has got a 32, that means the development of wisdom tooth has taken place. And the wisdom tooth to come out at an age of 17 or 20 years, as I mentioned before, was none but the molar tooth, right? So, as it is the third molar that has come out, so we call it or consider as the third molar to be the wisdom tooth. And hence, the option B is the correct one. Next. In human infant, the dental formula is, dental formula again we go back, I, C, P, M and M. I for incisor, C for canine, PM for premolar and M for molar. Now, in adult, the number of teeth is 32. In an infant an age of about 10 years or so, the total number of teeth is 20. That means again, if we look at the bifurcation, it should be 10, 10, 10 on the upper jaw, 10 on the lower jaw. And if each jaw is divided, then each section has got 5. So the first thing is to say, is the sum total of the numerator and the denominator is equal to 5? In the first case, option A, no. So it is out of way. In second, yes. Third, yes. Fourth, yes. So B, C, D can be one of the selected answer. Now we know that in the infants, premolars are lacking. All human infants, they lack the premolar teeth. There is no premolar. An infant has got incisor, canine and molars, no premolars. So naturally the third must be the 0. Because third stands for PM, premolar. And in the given option, if we look, the option B matches with 0 for the premolar, right? And hence, as the number of the premolar is 0 in the dental formula for premolars, the option B is the correct option. Next, as if we see here, look at the diagram carefully. We are starting with the front. In the front, you have got incisors 2. Then we have got a canine. Here you can see the pointed one. There we see the arrow going to the 2 premolars. And then the arrow going to the molars. That means this is the set of teeth in which the wisdom tooth is not there. Because had the wisdom tooth be there, then the third molar would have also be there. This would have come as a wisdom tooth. So the figure lacks the wisdom tooth. So if I have to make up the formula, right, the dental formula for this one, what I will do? Incisor, canine, premolar and molar. What is the number of incisor? 2. Number of canine? 1. Premolar? 2. And again molar? 2. That's for a nominal person without wisdom tooth. Because if the person has got the wisdom tooth, then it would be again 2, 1, 2, 3. Because third molar would come as a wisdom tooth. And then the other part shows the structure of the tooth, that the outermost part of the tooth is the enamel. The hardest structure. And you know, also when you will study about the bones, you will realize The lower jaw, we can only move the lower jaw. We can't move the upper jaw. And the bone of the lower jaw, that we call as mandible, is the strongest bone of our body. In our body, we have got 206 bones. And of these 206 bones, if we try to organize them on the basis of this strong nature, we realize the lower jaw is the strongest of the bone. So, that makes the things clear. In an adult, the total number of teeth is either 30 or 32. 32 if the wisdom tooth is there. The location of the tooth in the order is incisor to canine to premolar to molar. That is from front to the back. And then with the teeth, the outermost layer called enamel is the strongest part of the bone, while the jaw, lower jaw bone called mandible, is the strongest of all the known bones out of 206 present in our body. Right? Let's proceed further. In an elephant, the tusks are modified and developed. You must have seen an elephant. In an elephant, it is the forehead and the trunk. You must have seen the tusk coming out like this from either side of the trunk. Now, what are these tusks? We call them as tusk. These tusks are type of tooth. And what are they? Are they modified or elongated incisors, canines, molars or premolars? When we look at the teeth and the modification structure and the structure of the tusk, we realize that in case of elephants, the tusks are none but are the modified incisors. That is the front tooth. They come out as a tusk while the others remain at the back for chewing purposes. Next. Which of the statement is correct about elephant tusk? It's more a question of general awareness in science than purely of science. Tusk in males are smaller than in females. Smaller means in size. Tusk in males are bigger than in females. Tusk in both male and female are of equal length, that neither has got longer or shorter tusk. Or the last, female elephants lack tusk. That means they do not carry or they do not have any tusk. Now, which of these four is correct? First thing, the fourth is out because both, whether the elephant is male or female, the elephant has got a tusk. Now arises the question, the length of the tusk. If we watch the elephants, a herd of elephants, we realize that there are some elephants which have got longer tusks as compared to the others. That means these tusks are the representative of the sexual dimorphism. That is, the sex is male or female. And the observation I have shown that the tusk in males are bigger than the tusk in females. That is, the length of the tusk in males is greater or is bigger than the one in the female. But doesn't mean that the female do not have tusks. They have tusks like males. It's only the difference is in the size. Next. In warthogs or walruses, the projecting modified tusks are Incisors, canines, molars, or premolars. Now, if you would have seen a walrus or a warthog or even a wild pig, you would see the tooth coming out, a sort of a developed tooth called tusk coming out. What is it? Is it like an incisor in the case of elephant? Or it's not incisor but some other type of the tooth? When the structural study is done, it is found that the tusk in case of the warthogs or walruses be a similarity with that of the molars than with incisor canines or premolars. Right? Because molars are the one which are more concerned with chewing. Either you call it chewing or you call it mastication. Mastication is a scientific term for describing the process of chewing. That means if someone says he is chewing or he is masticating, that means he is talking about the same thing. Then, in case the warthogs, walrus, or wild pig, even if it is wild pig, the answer would remain the same. The molars are the modified tooth, the tusks. Next, in humans, infants do not have, as we discussed earlier, in humans we have got I, C, P, M and M. And PM is 0. Because 2, 1, 2. That is the dental formula. That is 2, 1, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 2. And as PM is 0, that means the human infants lack premolar tooth. The premolar tooth develop or they arise or they come up as this infant starts growing bigger and bigger by age. Next, chemically teeth are made up of. Now this is a question which is also related to your chemistry. Calcium sulfate, that is CaSO4. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Tricalcium phosphate, Ca3PO4 whole twice. Tricalcium carbonate, Ca3CO3. This cannot be a structure because chemically it means CaCO3, which is like tricalcium carbonate, which is like this, which is not possible. Calcium carbonate is the shell. In the animal classification, we learned that the mollusks have the shells, and their shells are made up of what we call calcium carbonate. CaSO4, it stands for gypsum, which is the source of what POP, plaster of Paris. So we are left with only one option, that is calcium triphosphate. Therefore, they say for the development of the bones, skeletal system or the teeth, we have to have calcium phosphate. If you look at an infant growing and you look at the supplements being provided to the small growing infant, you'll realize or you'll find that one of the supplement given to the growing infant is calcium. Why? In order to provide the necessary calcium for the growth of the bones, because at that time, during the infantile stage, the child is growing very fast, and it may be that the diet what he is taking, which is mostly the milk or the breast milk, mother's breast milk, that may or may not be able to supply the required amount. So in order to meet the required amount of the calcium for the proper growth of the bones, the supplement of calcium is given. And it is this calcium ions that combine with the phosphate ions to form this tricalcium phosphate that is involved in the formation of the bones and teeth. Right? So the correct option is tricalcium phosphate. Then the flesh-tearing teeth in carnivores such as leopards are. If you look at the word carnivore, carnivore means flesh-eating, and C for carnivore and C for canine. Because these teeth are meant for tearing of food. Just like if you are asked to just suck some sugar cane, what do? Do you hold the sugar cane like this or you hold it like this? You hold it inclined. Because first you pierce your teeth into the shell of the stem of the sugar cane, tear it off, and then you start it chewing or sucking. So the canines are the ones that are meant for tearing, and for animals, carnivore animals, which are the flesh eaters, they have to tear the flesh first before they bite. So the canines or the carnivores are the known with the canines, with the developed canines, the long pointed teeth. If you see in their mouth, they are none but other canines. Next, the venom containing, venom means poison, the toxin, containing fangs are found in, fangs mean teeth. These are modified teeth which contain venom, poison, and are found in some snakes, which like vipers, which are poisonous, like cobra, which are poisonous. So naturally, as I mentioned, fangs are the ones that are related with the snakes. Because war dogs have got what? Tusk. Wild pigs have got tusk. Scorpion has got the poisonous gland, the venom containing gland at the tail part, at the post-anal part of the body, then in the front, while teeth in the front, in the buccal cavity. And it is snake who has got the venom in their mouth. They spit, like spit cobra, it spits the venom from the mouth, not from the posterior part of the body. So the correct option is snakes. Snakes are the animals or reptiles which have got venomous teeth, and those venomous teeth they possess in the buccal cavity or in the mouth is what we call as fangs, F-A-N-G-S, right? So that's where we come to the part of the dentition, that these were some of the questions that have so far been asked in one way or other in the past examination papers, right? Thanks. In the next, we'll proceed with the human digestive system. Okay.